My grandmother, Marie Donaldson Moore, told me once when I recounted the time when we went fishing and a hook went through her thumb. How Grandpa had painstakingly cut the barb and pulled it out. She said, I don't even remember. I try to only remember the good. I think about that sometimes when I think about Ray, because there were enough good things about Ray. I realized there were questions ultimately whether he knew about the governor's clique, how I was being used. I know he laughed about me behind my back a lot. But there were enough good things about Ray that it was easy for me to focus on the good when I wrote and tried to write my memories of him, which of course was before he died. And he would never have tolerated the way Lisa Miles, his loved one, got Jeannie raped and me castrated. He would have really come down on the idea. He understood the inner workings of that crowd with Matt Marcus and Peter Gabriel very, very well. He knew the whole story about Leslie, the one that annoys so many people. He would ultimately have found it absolutely disgraceful that they castrated me. It was very difficult for Ray to break from his love for me as a friend. We were friends. We were best friends for a long time. Things came between us. Girls came between us. The scene at Carnegie Mellon came between us. But ultimately, even Lisa, who had the dignity to represent our strange friendship faithfully in her memorial video. Being out in the Midwest over the summers with my grandmother, I was able to come to terms with some of the disabilities that exist in human creation. I'm mortified by Parkinson's, and I'm saddened and I'm scared by the brutal narration. The people who poached me through the soul. They really did. And they're trying to graft a false, fraudulent, evil narration on the trauma and horrors that were inflicted on me. Seattle, Washington is very, very similar to what the Israelis are doing in Gaza. About 3 or 4 months into the year we've been through, a a bad apple of a nightmare story came out of Gaza that the Israelis were grave robbing, digging up graves and towing away dead people to leach them of their innards and all of the other things that they do when they tear up cemeteries. It's cruel to the mind after all the children trapped under rubble, assassinated in cars while pleading for help, laughed at, strafed in their apartments. God, the stories that came out of Gaza. And Seattle is exactly like that. They poached somebody in the soul. Ripper murdered a girl, tortured somebody who reported being tortured, and demanded that they accept the monotone drone of a deranged lie while they scooped for grist for the slander treadmill. led by Penis Gabriel, recording artist in Britain, who's their overlord. Who dares question the rubber stamp of Penis Gabriel? The burning oil fields of Iraq and Kuwait are his trademark. He's a lackey of that stooge horror, George Bush Jr., Tony Blair. And Seattle wants to rob the grave by lying about a life. And they see nothing wrong with it. They kept me out of school for 12 years because they said I was a fraud and a failure and a troublemaker. A schizophrenic with a thing in his face. That's what they called it, the thing in your face, while they were knifing a girl over a peanut. I got away from them for a while, graduated 4 years of school, straight A student, Phi Theta Kappa. The person who traumatized me chased me out of Pittsburgh, whose crowd were working with Penis Gabriel on this persona that they admitted constructing for grave robbing purposes. He was arrested in the $6 million museum heist. Did Seattle apologize? No. They poisoned me in the mouth. A tulip came up on my gum. I lost teeth. I still can't shake it, whatever they did. It's still up there eating away. That's Seattle. That's Israel. They're grave robbers. That's what they do. They don't forget anything. They tear up the evidence. Oh, they chew the carpets. And they lie. And they say, we win.